Hi there, this is John Wilkinson again from History Made Easier, with the first of a series of presentations that take a look at how you should approach the different questions on paper 2 by using past League of Nations questions, even though in truth you can practice using any topic. It's how you assess and make use of sources that is being tested more than your knowledge of the topic, though that remains important. Anyway, I'm beginning with the most frequently asked question. How far do two sources agree? And first, a comment about the question. Study sources F and G. How far do these two cartoonists agree? Explain your answer using details of the sources and your own knowledge. And there's usually 7 or 8 marks for this question. The focus of the question is the degree to which the two sources agree. Now, if I say the sun is hot and you say Mars is cold, we are neither agreeing nor disagreeing. We are talking about the solar system, but that's as far as it goes. I'm talking about a star and you're talking about a planet. 2 different things. That kind of difference would be useful only if the question was about how far the two sources differed. To assess how far two sources agree about something, we have to be comparing a common criterion. So, looking at our two sources, saying that the future was bright according to source F, but that source G thought the league is weak, is not comparing like with like. Take a little care. We can use both those points to very good effect, as you will see, but we need to do so appropriately. Now, one of the things I shout from the rooftops with paper 2 is that it is a friendly paper, packed full of marks for you. But you still have to take care and not rush. I think the images that hit you in the face in these two cartoons are a flower with an angel, a snake and a rabbit. What do we link to these things? Rabbits are cute. Though trust me, I used to keep rabbits when I was a kid, and they can give you quite a nip. Snakes are dangerous and untrustworthy, and flowers are beautiful. But flowers can be delicate, and flowers can be hardy too. I'm also a keen gardener, and flowers can suffer in the cold. If there's no rain, if you put them in the wrong soil, in too much shade or too much sun. And yet, flowers can also be incredibly hardy. Weeds, for example. The moral of this long-winded tale is that yes, paper 2 is indeed a friendly paper for you, but you can still blow it. Don't rush, but do think. So, look at the flower in the first cartoon. It's almost like something out of Jack and the Beanstalk. You can imagine a giant climbing up it. It's strong and healthy. And there you have the big messages from the first cartoon. The league is strong and healthy, rising out of the mass graves of the Western Front with an angel of peace at the heart of it. And so it is going to ensure a peaceful future. See how I explain the messages of the source by making references to how the source gives its messages. Whereas the big messages in the second cartoon is that the league, that sweet bunny rabbit, is weak when faced with the slippery, untrustworthy nature of international politics or international strife as the cartoon depicts it. Again, direct references to the source. Unfair on snakes, they're not even slippery, but there you go. And there is no way that in the future the League, according to this source, will be able to stand up to international strife and keep the peace. So the sources couldn't disagree more on their big messages. And note the strength of my evaluation. Couldn't disagree more. In source F, the future is promising. In source G, it's bleak. In source F, there is every reason to hope the League will be a success and keep the peace. In source G, not a chance. Why? And this would be another point, because in source F, the League is seen as strong. In source G, it is seen as weak. And you could briefly bring a bit of your own knowledge to this. The sources are dated 1919 and 1920, when the League was being discussed at the Paris Peace Conference. The Treaty of Versailles was signed in June, 4 months before the first cartoon, and the League came into existence at the beginning of 1920, its members' first meeting in November of that year. So of course discussions about the League, whether it was a good idea, whether it would work, were rife. Now let's be clear, I checked those dates in preparing this piece. But you should be aware that there was a debate about the League at the Peace Conference, and this would have spilled over into the press, evidenced by the 2 cartoons. Now, I have identified and explained 2 big messages about the strength of the League and the likelihood of whether it would be successful or not. And I've given a supporting point. But we can still say more about the 2 sources. Even if it's only implied, there is a measure of agreement in that the League is seen as an important issue, worthy of discussion. Otherwise, why were the cartoons published? And we can presume that there have been countless articles in the newspapers. And that it has essentially been established to deal with strife. There are the gravestones of war in source F, and the international strife depicted by the snake in source G. But it doesn't change my conclusion on the main messages. These sources couldn't disagree more. Now this has not been an easy one to explain on a recording like this, and might need more than one play. But the key points to take away are, in answering agreement questions, compare like with like. Look for a big point or big points. Look for other points too, even if only implied. Be brave with these and reach an evaluation. How far? Now, if you are watching this video and you think you would benefit from some tutorials, you might find that I still have a slot available if you're interested in that. You can check this out by emailing me at historymadeeasier@gmail.com, or better still, get your parents to, and I'll get back to you. If I have a slot available, I can hopefully work something out with you and your parents. Whatever. I do thank you for listening and wish you the very best of luck in your studies. And the very best of luck in paper 2. Cheers.